Here's an excerpt from an educational video available now at marchingartseducation.com. Learn from the experts and take your group to the next level. Use coupon code FIRST to the 50 to get $10 off this video at marchingartseducation.com.
For me, the next most important thing in the learning process is to get them to be comfortable with the music as soon as possible. I want them to be comfortable. I'm not sure if you've heard this phrase before, but you know, so many times kids are just in survival mode. They're just hanging in there. And you know, I can go down, I could tell you names of my kids, and I know you guys could do the same thing, as like, all right, this person is going to struggle for a while until they figure out how to play it. The goal for me is to get them to be comfortable as soon as possible. How do you do that? Number one, start slow. I know sometimes, and I've done this poorly a lot. You're so impatient. You want them to know the music just like that, and you know it's going to challenge them. It's going to take some time to get them to get there where you want, and you want to go the real tempo right away. Well, in our world of high school, you know what? It might be best to take it slow to make sure they get it right, and then speed it up. You know, and to try to be patient with it, especially if you're doing something that you know this part of the show is going to be the most challenging part for our kids. Let's learn it at a slow pace, and let's make sure everybody is playing. That's another one. We were just talking about if you are in a band that has smaller numbers, the importance of everybody playing is huge with the smaller numbers. So I think, and it's funny to say this, but I think you could be more efficient in the learning process, especially down the road, if you are more patient while you're teaching it. So I didn't want to say that, but so I have the music, I pass it out, here we go, top to letter A, and let's go through. What I do is I check every single part. Now, whether I'm going to put myself in a position where I'm in a full band position, so this is not a staff thing. This is just me, and I actually still do this even though I know that they've been taught the part. But I will go down and I will make sure, all right, tubas first, or tubas, bari, saxes, bass, clarinets. You first. You have the same part, and I will do just them from the top to letter A, slow tempo. Do we all have the right notes? No, we missed the F sharp. Let's try it again. And you go through and you make sure that that they're playing the right notes. I'll interrupt myself by saying this. The worst mistake the kids could do is not play. Try to drill that with them so you know that they've learned it. That's critical. And if they're making a mistake, you're like, good, now we can fix the mistake, because if you're not going to play, we don't know the mistake is there. It's huge in the learning process because you want them to retain it. And as soon as all of those kids have it, or at least understand what they're supposed to do, yeah, it might be out of tune, yeah, the brass might crack these notes, but they're understanding the volume, they're understanding the articulation, obviously the notes and rhythms at a slow pace, then you start speeding it up and you do reps. So for me, top to letter A, okay, I've gone through the whole score to low people, the tenor voices, alto, finally soprano. I've gone through all of that. They all understand it. We're not perfect yet, but they understand it. We're taking it slow, and then I just do it like 8 times. Why? To get them comfortable. Because I want them to try to be comfortable with this before they go out and learn drill. Because if they're not comfortable playing the music, there is no chance that they'll be able to play this on the move. Mike, Cuz, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I think one of the best things you can say is, again, you know, it's funny because even we do it at Crown all the time, especially early on, but again, and then sometimes we'll do something well, and I'll say, let's do that 4 times. Let's do it 5 times. I'll tell the drum major, we're just going to loop this 5 times. And you ask the kids, when you're doing this, take stock of what you did. Think about what you played well. Think about what you missed. The second time I got this one, I added these couple notes, I still missed this. The third time, so if I was to ask you at the end of those 5 reps, what was your best rep? What did you do wrong on rep 4? Like, a mindful approach to what you're doing is better than just going through the motions to do it 5 times in a row. And that works. It works with the music. Once you get it into the drill, you know, Matt does the same thing. If you learn that, they're comfortable with the music, you get into the drill. Again, you know, we've done it. Go back and do it again. Go back and do it again. Listen to this time. Let's go back and do it again. It doesn't have to be rocket scientists in terms of the correction every time, especially at the beginning. You want to start to develop muscle memory. You want to start to develop their comfortableness with moving and playing, so that sooner than later they can start to engage their musical intelligence and their emotion into what they're doing. But they're not going to do any of that if they're not comfortable with the music or the drill.